When we think of the word trauma, some of us who have been in this coaching space for a long time know that that can mean several different things. But most importantly, we see ourselves in that word. Whether we have experienced really big trauma or really small, tiny trauma, or maybe even a micro dosing of trauma in our lives, we know as self aware business owners that trauma has played a part in how we make decisions, in how we handle clients, in how we handle our relationships, and in how our life is going to turn out. And that self awareness is extremely crucial to understanding where we came from so we know where we're going. That's why I work with a trauma informed life strategist. Her name is Elyssa Smith, and today I'm going to interview her so that you can also become a self aware business owner and you can start to realize where trauma, whether it's big or small or tiny, has played a part in your decisions and how to stop it from being such a big part of our decisions going forward. Because if there's one thing that I'm all about here, is that we have control over our future. Let's not let our past define it from now on. So, in this interview with Elyssa, we're going to dive into all of it, into where trauma comes from, how does it feel in your body, and whether you have suffered trauma, even if you've never qualified it with that word. Hi, my name is Coveney. I am a marketing strategist and business coach, and this is the Superhumans podcast where I interview the most successful people that I know so that you can get all the ideas and lessons for your life and business so that you can also become a superhuman. Before we get to the interview, I wanted to share with you a little bit of why you need somebody who is trauma informed in your team, in your life. I continuously tap on Elyssa's knowledge and I hire her to do sessions with me because I know that there are things that are stopping me and I don't want them to stop me anymore. And somebody who is trauma informed can actually tell me, this is why you are making that decision. This is why you're putting yourself in this box. This is why you're reacting in this way, even though you know better, even though you know things should be different, should be acting differently. You act this way. You make these decisions because of this thing that happened in your life. And I need somebody in my life who understands enough about my background to shed light on why I keep falling into the same patterns. So I'm going to open up a little bit and tell you about one thing that I have been working directly with Elyssa on in my life to be able to open up my world and unlock my business success. Some of you actually might relate to this. Have you ever thought of yourself as a people pleaser? A people pleaser is someone who cannot feel good in their body unless other people like them, unless other people are in good favor with them. We people pleasers cannot stand it if somebody doesn't like us, if somebody is mad at us, if somebody's angry at us, if somebody has any kind of negative feeling or negative thought about anything that we're doing, it like sucks the life out of our soul, right? It just drains our energy. We can't think about anything else. If you ever disappoint somebody, this will take over your life for the next 24 hours, for the next 48 hours, sometimes for a whole week until it is resolved. And this comes from some kind of trauma that happened in your life. It may not have been a huge deal. It may not have been something that is glaringly obvious, something that would have taken you to the hospital or, a war or, a bear chasing you down a forest. Like it may have not been that obvious. It may have been like micro dosages of this negative reinforcement happening in your life because of a particular situation. In my case, I grew up being bullied at home and being bullied at school. And I didn't have a safe space for me to retreat to, for me to go to. For me, survival meant that I needed to get people to like me. It was a life or death situation. I did not have a safe space to retreat to. I did not have somebody in my life that just validated me, that understood what I was going through. And I needed to be part of a tribe. I needed to be part of a community. This is an evolutionary need that we have to be a part of a community. And I was being shunned by my community wherever I went. I had to survive. And that meant making sure that people were okay with me. That tendency stayed with me throughout my life, which means that I have been in situations with clients where a client may be on the narcissistic side, not respecting boundaries, where they take more than our agreement really called for. And me being a people pleaser, have been in that situation of feeling trapped, feeling like my energy is being drained, feeling like I am not appreciated, but I have to stay in this relationship because of the sake of the contract, because of the sake of the agreement. And I've had to work very hard to realize that I deserve to be treated with respect, that their liking me is not the top priority in this relationship. And that has happened to me multiple times, where I feel like I need to get them to be pleased with me. And that has affected every aspect of what I do and how I deal with people. When you work with a life coach, they may be helping you think about the future. They may be helping you, okay, well, what are you going to do differently? But when you work with a trauma informed life strategist, the focus is completely different. It's not necessarily in going through your trauma again, in re traumatizing. They do not believe in that. They believe in you being aware of where your decisions come from. And now that you're aware and you can see things clearly, you can make a different decision tomorrow. And it has been incredible working with Elyssa, because I can go into one meeting thinking one way, thinking that I am trapped, thinking that I can't make a change, that things are just the way they are and I need to figure it out how to live in this situation, to 48 hours later realizing that I deserve better, I can stand in my power and make better decisions for myself. In only 48 hours, I can make a 180 turn in my thinking, just because I have a session with Elyssa where she uses all of her magic. We call it in my group of friends the magic of Elyssa. She uses her magic on you so that you don't continue to make the same mistakes, so you don't continue to be subject to your trauma, to be somebody that, because your trauma happened, you will forever be this way and you will forever act this way and you will forever let others stumble over you. That doesn't happen when you work with a trauma-informed life strategist. So that's why I work with her. And by the way, Elyssa is about to kick off her very first podcast. And if there's one PSA that I have for everybody, is to, number one, start following her immediately. Number two, go and find her podcast. It's called Unlocking Your Blocks. And at the time of this recording, the podcast is not live yet. So if you go and search for it and you don't find it, set a reminder for yourself next week and try to find it again. Go follow her on Instagram. I assure you she's going to have some amazing launch activities going on for her podcast. So go follow her at Elyssa Smith. And you don't even know how to spell it, I am putting it below in the comments, so you can just click right there. Her name is Elyssa, Elyssa. And her Instagram is Elyssa Smith. Go and follow her right now. Everybody needs a little dose of the magic of Elyssa in their life. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to her. Elyssa and I had the amazing pleasure of working together on her TEDx talk, which she gave earlier this year. And now I just checked, it's nearing 85,000 views. This TEDx talk has been the fastest growing thing that I have ever seen. I think that in the interviews with her, I mentioned that her TEDx talk is approaching 50,000 views. Now it's at 85. By the time you listen to this, it may already be at over 100,000 views. So you can go and check it out. I'm putting the link below. It is called Why You Procrastinate and How to Stop It for Good. You can just go find it on YouTube, or if you just type Elyssa Smith procrastination, it will pop up. I'm also putting the link below, and I have a short link for it, of course. realsuperhumans.com/TEDx will get you straight there. That has been the honor of my life, to work with Elyssa, to put her TEDx out there, and to watch it grow the way that it has. You can see how this topic really resonates with everyone. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Elyssa Smith. Elyssa Smith is a trauma-informed life strategist who helps female founders and CEOs overcome limiting beliefs and heal from hidden trauma to achieve their next level of success. Drawing from her own healing journey and studies on the survival brain, Elyssa equips women entrepreneurs with tools to rewire their minds for unprecedented success and happiness. Her TEDx talk, Why You Procrastinate and How to Stop It for Good, has gained over 85,000 views on YouTube. Elyssa has been featured on the Powerhouse Women's stage in Forbes and is a regular contributor on Fox 59 Morning News. Elyssa is also honored to be Ina Coveney's very own life strategist and coach. I added that last line. That was not a part of our bio. I added that because you need to know that I actively work with her to make my business better if I haven't really hammered that home. So if you are watching on YouTube, all you have to do is click right here to go straight to the interview. And if you're listening on the podcast, this episode begins now.